Every single day, the universe gives you a window, a moment, a narrow passage of time where your choices either build the life you want or reinforce the one you've settled for. The truth is not poetic, it's brutal. No one is coming to force you to rise. No one is coming to remind you what you said you would do. And no one will hold your hand and drag you to your destiny. That's your job. You must force yourself. Force yourself to wake up early when your body craves comfort. Force yourself to show up when your mind tells you to hide. Force yourself to work when no one is watching, no one is clapping, and no reward is guaranteed. You think motivation is supposed to save you, but motivation is a coward. It only shows up when it's convenient. It only appears when the road is already easy. But greatness is born from discipline, from grit, from forcing yourself to act in alignment with your vision, even when everything inside you is begging you to quit. Do you want to know the real reason most people never achieve their goals? It's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they lack opportunity. It's because they keep waiting to feel like it. But feelings are liars. They whisper comfort when you need courage. They seduce you with rest when it's time for war. If you only work when it's easy, if you only push when the wind is at your back, you'll live and die in the same place, trapped in your potential, drowning in what-ifs, and haunted by the version of yourself you could have been. You must understand this. Forcing yourself is not about punishment. It is about liberation. It is the act of breaking your own chains before the world ever tries to shackle you. When you force yourself to take control of your mind, you unlock a power that most people will never know. You step beyond the fragile limits of emotion and into the steel world of command. And that is where transformation begins. No one forced Michael Jordan to shoot after practice until the lights went off. No one forced Elon Musk to sleep on the floor of his factory. No one forced Arnold Schwarzenegger to do that extra rep when his muscles were on fire. They did it because they made a contract with their future self, and they honored that contract, not when it was convenient, not when it was comfortable, but every single day, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. You think the gap between you and your goals is talent? Number. It's consistency. It's self-command. It's doing the thing you said you would do even when your entire body resists. That's the only way to cross the valley between potential and achievement. You must become the type of person who does it anyway. Tired? Do it anyway. Scared? Do it anyway. Uncertain? Do it anyway. No support? Do it anyway. Your goals don't care about your excuses. They only respond to effort, to discipline, to execution. Force is not weakness. Force is power. It's the muscle of the mind. Every time you force yourself to act in defiance of doubt, you grow stronger. Every time you silence the voice of laziness and choose to move forward anyway, you carve a deeper identity. That's how you become unstoppable, not by feeling ready, but by choosing action again and again and again. You won't always want to. You won't always feel inspired. Some mornings, your bed will feel like heaven, and your purpose will feel like a burden. Some nights, your heart will ache with loneliness. Your eyes will sting from exhaustion, and your goals will seem far distant and pointless. But that's exactly when you must force yourself to push forward. That's when most people stop, and that's exactly why you must go on. Because the truth is, you will never build a great life from comfort. You will never write a new story by repeating the same chapter. You will never become exceptional by doing what's easy. And you will never meet your higher self without first going through war with your lower one. You must be your own drill sergeant. You must look yourself in the mirror and demand more, not because you hate who you are, but because you believe in who you could become. That belief must turn into behavior. Behavior must turn into habit. Habit must become identity, and identity must be shaped with force. The same way a sword is forged through fire, you must forge your will through pain. Force is how you win the internal battle, the one between who you are and who you could be, the one between the comfort of now and the greatness of later. Every day, you are either feeding your weakness or feeding your strength. Every decision is a vote. Every delay is a betrayal. And every action, forced or not, is creating your future. So force yourself, not once, not twice, every single time it matters. Force yourself out of the bed, force yourself off the couch, force yourself into the gym, force yourself to write, to study, to train, to build. Don't wait for motivation. Manufacture it. Don't wait for clarity. Move through the fog. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it. This is how legends are made, not by accident, but by choice. Your dreams are real, but they are guarded by resistance. And the only way to get through is to be stronger than your excuses, stronger than your distractions, stronger than your weakness. And that strength only comes through the habit of forcing yourself. You say you want success, then act like it. Show up like it. Push like it. Don't just dream the life. Fight for it. Suffer for it. Sweat for it. Get up every time you fall. And when you're tired, when you're alone, when you want to give up, force yourself to remember why you started. Force yourself to keep going. Your future is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It is built in the silent, thankless, invisible hours where you forced yourself to keep the promise. To yourself, to your vision, to your mission. Keep forcing forward until you don't have to anymore, until it becomes who you are. Because this isn't just about willpower. This is about identity. Every time you force yourself to do something difficult, you are casting a vote for the kind of person you want to become. And the more votes you cast, the clearer that identity becomes. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not waiting for a breakthrough. It's the daily act of proving to yourself that you are not weak, that you are not a slave to your emotions, that you are not at the mercy of your old habits, your fears, your past. You think people who win had it easier? Number. They had every reason to stop, and they didn't. They cried and kept going. They failed and tried again. They fell behind and forced themselves to catch up. You don't become successful by being special. You become successful by being relentless, by showing the world that no matter what it throws at you, you will not break. Because if you don't force yourself, life will do it for you in a much crueler way. You'll be forced to live with regret. You'll be forced to watch others pass you by. You'll be forced to accept mediocrity, not because you were meant for it, but because you chose it over and over again by doing nothing. People will tell you to go easy on yourself, to rest, to take it slow. And yes, there are moments for rest. But you know what's worse than burnout? A life unlived, a calling ignored, a dream abandoned because no one else believed in it enough, not even you. Force is what builds momentum. Momentum is what builds mastery. And mastery is what unlocks a life most people will only fantasize about. You don't need a better plan. You need more pressure. Internal pressure, not from the world, from within. Pressure that refuses to let you drift. Pressure that demands results. Pressure that wakes you up before the alarm and whispers, "Get up." You said you would. That's the force you must create inside you. Not anger, standard. Raise your standard so high that your current behavior disgusts you. So high that mediocrity becomes unbearable. So high that you'd rather die with effort than live with ease. That's when the shift happens. That's when your goals stop being optional and start becoming requirements, like oxygen, like breath, like survival. You don't negotiate with your future. You don't bargain with your destiny. You don't beg the universe to give you what you haven't bled for. You take it. And to take it, you must force yourself to do the hard thing again and again until it's no longer hard, until it's who you are. And let's be honest, there will be pain. There will be days where nothing seems to work. There will be months where progress is invisible, but that's when you double down. That's when you hold the line. When you force yourself to keep going, even when logic says quit, because the world does not reward the comfortable, it rewards the committed. There's a version of you that's fearless, focused, fierce, but you will never meet that version if you keep backing down every time things get heavy. You will never become that version if you keep choosing what's easy over what's necessary. You will never meet your power if you keep giving into the voice that says, just do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, there is only now. And the moment you decide, truly decide, to force yourself forward, the game changes, your energy changes, your circle changes, your life starts bending to your will. Not because the world got easier, but because you got harder. So what's the choice? Stay in the same loop, repeating the same excuses, looking in the same mirror, asking why nothing is changing? Or force yourself, right now, to become something more. Force yourself to build the business, to finish the book, to run the miles, to break the patterns, to stop escaping, to stop numbing, to stop waiting for something external to push you when the real power has always been internal. This is your war, not against others, not against the world, against the version of you that would rather be liked than legendary, against the version of you that wants comfort more than change, against the one who knows what needs to be done and still chooses delay. You must kill that version every single day, with action, with movement, with force. That is the price of greatness. Force yourself until the gym is not a battle, it's a habit. Force yourself until discipline is not effort, it's identity. Force yourself until your goals are not dreams, they're inevitabilities. You were not born to be average. You were not built to be weak. You were not put on this earth to blend in. The life you want is not for later, it's for now. But you'll never have it if you keep lying to yourself about your efforts. So if you're tired of watching others win while you stand still, if you're tired of feeling that gap between who you are and who you could be, if you're done waiting, wishing, hoping, then it's time. Force yourself until it becomes natural, until it becomes automatic, until it becomes you. Because the transformation you're after doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen after one inspiring video or a few days of discipline. Transformation is the result of war, an internal war between two versions of yourself. The one who wants comfort and the one who craves greatness. The one who hits snooze and the one who laces up their shoes. The one who scrolls endlessly and the one who builds endlessly. And only one can survive. You want a new life? Then you must bury the old one. Not gradually, not politely. You must kill it with fire. You must force yourself to become so committed to your future that your past feels like betrayal. No halfway habits, no lukewarm attempts. Burn the bridges, burn the excuses, burn the idea that you can tiptoe toward greatness and not get your hands dirty. You can't. This is war. And in war, hesitation gets you killed. Let them call you obsessed. Let them call you too intense. Let them whisper behind your back while you bleed behind the scenes. Because one day, the same people who laughed at your discipline will bow to your results. But you must earn that. Through repetition, through resilience, through doing what needs to be done, whether or not the world applauds. This is about integrity, not the kind you show others, the kind you show yourself, the private victories, the silent hours, the moments where nobody is watching, but you still show up like everything depends on it. Because it does. You think success is about strategy? It's not. It's about self-conquest. Beating the voice inside your head that says, take it easy. Beating the thoughts that tell you you'll never make it. Beating the temptations that promise you relief, but cost you your legacy. You must train your mind like a weapon. And that training, it comes through force. Force to stay focused. Force to stay consistent. Force to get up when life knocks you on your knees. This isn't about doing what you want. It's about doing what is required. There will be days you're exhausted, days you feel broken, days where nothing seems to make sense. That is when you force yourself to move anyway. That is when you separate yourself from the average. That is when you become unstoppable, not because you feel like it, but because you decided you are. People want to feel ready before they act. They want motivation to pull them. They want inspiration to push them. But here's the truth. The universe does not reward hesitation. It rewards action. It rewards those who push forward even when every part of them is screaming to retreat. So when it's hard, force yourself. When it's lonely, force yourself. When you're doubting everything, force yourself. Your future self is watching, waiting, hoping you don't give up, hoping you don't settle, hoping you finally get serious. Because that version of you, the one with power, purpose, clarity, strength, they don't exist unless you build them. And building them requires force, repeated, ruthless force. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to drag you to success. No one is going to fight for your dream more than you. So stop looking outside. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking for someone to believe in you. Start becoming someone worth believing in. You want freedom? Force yourself to earn it. You want success? Force yourself to create it. You want peace? Force yourself through the chaos, because that's where real peace lives, on the other side of pain, fatigue, failure, and sacrifice. Force is how you wake up early before the sun and grind while the world sleeps. Force is how you stop quitting every time things get inconvenient. Force is how you transform from a victim of circumstance to a master of consequence. This world will not hand you the life you want. It will test you. It will tempt you. It will try to break you. But if you force yourself to keep going, no matter how brutal the day, you will earn something far greater than success. You will earn self-respect, and that changes everything. That becomes the fire no one can put out. That becomes the armor no one can penetrate. That becomes the legacy no one can ignore. Force is not a one-time effort. It's not a motivational buzz. It is the daily decision to act, even when everything inside you begs to delay. And over time, that force turns into fire. And that fire, it changes your life. So force yourself until the world can't help but see what you've built. Force yourself until your name becomes proof that the impossible is possible. Force yourself until your results speak so loudly you never have to say a word again. Keep showing up, keep going, keep forcing forward, because when others fold, you fight. When others quit, you climb. And when others wait for life to happen, you force it to bend to your will. That's how goals are achieved. Because this world, this cold, indifferent world, does not yield to the passive. It does not open its gates to those who knock softly. It does not reward those who merely wish or want or whisper their dreams into the wind. It bows to those who command it, who force their way through resistance, who shatter walls with action, who grind through pain without applause and keep moving forward long after motivation has died. You see, life is rigged in favor of the relentless, not the lucky, not the privileged, the relentless, the one who falls down and gets back up, not with a whimper, but with more force than before. The one who walks into every setback with fire in their eyes and steel in their soul. The one who doesn't need permission, praise, or proof, just a reason, a mission, and a will that won't crack. You keep saying you're waiting for the right time, but there is no right time. There's only right now, this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. And every second you hesitate is a second your future slips through your fingers. You keep telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. But what you're really doing is killing your own momentum, destroying your own belief, making a habit out of delay. And delay is the silent assassin of greatness. You say you want more, but do you act like it? Do you force yourself out of bed when your dreams are on the line? Do you force yourself to show up when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when every voice in your head tells you it's not worth it? Because that is the test. That is the battlefield. It's not outside of you. It's not in the economy. It's not in the system. It's within you. The war between discipline and distraction, between effort and excuses, between potential and paralysis. Every time you choose action over excuse, you win a battle. Every time you force yourself to follow through, you build armor. And that armor, it's forged in sweat, in silence, in sacrifice, in solitude. Let me tell you what the future doesn't need. Another almost. Another could have been. Another person who had dreams but not the will to force them into reality. The world is full of people who almost did something great, almost started, almost changed, almost committed, almost lived. But almost is the graveyard of ambition. And if you're not careful, you'll bury yourself there too. But not you, because now you know. Now you've seen what you are and what you could be. And you know the only thing standing between the two is force. Force creates clarity. When you stop negotiating with your mind and just move, fear fades, doubt quiets, the fog clears. Not all at once, but enough. Enough to take the next step, and then the next, and then 1,000 more, until the person you used to be as a stranger you never plan to visit again. Force creates momentum. Action leads to progress. Progress leads to belief. Belief leads to identity. And identity, forged in the fire of your own force, is unshakable. That's how you become the kind of person who doesn't just set goals, but crushes them. And force creates freedom, because once you master yourself, your time, your emotions, your effort, the world opens up. Not because it got easier, but because you got stronger. You stop depending on others. You stop waiting for a sign. You stop needing someone to come and save you because you realize you don't need saving. You need discipline. You need pressure. You need force. That's the difference between the person who dreams and the person who does. The dreamer waits. The doer forces. The dreamer imagines. The doer executes. The dreamer hopes. The doer builds. And building is hard. It hurts. It breaks you before it builds you. But if you force yourself through the pain, you get something far greater than pleasure. You get power. The power to walk into any room and know that you earned your place there. The power to stare down fear and say, I fought worse than you and kept going. The power to live with peace because you know you didn't fold, you didn't quit, you didn't run. You forced your way forward, and that changed everything. This is your life, not a rehearsal, not a warm-up, not an experiment. This is it, right now. And you have a choice. Stay soft, stay still, stay stuck, or force yourself to rise. Force yourself to build. Force yourself to become undeniable. And once you start, you don't stop. Not when it's hard, not when it's dark, not when you're tired. You never stop. You just keep forcing your way forward until the world moves out of your way.